So
Wait, I have a question for Alex, actually.
Yes.
So you mentioned as a white passing Latino
Yes.
guy on a South Asian dance team.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
Honestly, it felt. It was like a mix of like being out of place, but also really interesting at the same time. Granted, I had never heard of like any type of dance from India specifically, but I saw a lot of similarities. Like when you taught, I think the first place I ever learned about was Kuttu.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, it reminded me of like Afro-Cuban dancing because like it's very best word I can use, but it's like wild, not out of control, but like, it's like controlled chaos.
That specific piece was very like grounded and
which is what I really like. It's like kind of like it's down to the ground, like just like being all wild, having fun.
Mud.
Like it just like it felt good. I felt like that. I think that was the one that actually like felt like really relatable.
Yeah.
At the time, like Bhangra is fun, but at the same time, like it's like it just wasn't doing it for me. Bollywood is also interesting to me. Like I think I'm in touch with my feminine side, which I always associated like Bollywood more with the feminine style of dancing until I joined the team. I learned a lot more about it, but also you have to be like super comfortable. Like you had to be okay making like a fool of yourself, which I think is in terms of every dance thing. You had to be really comfortable making a fool of yourself. Although I did feel a little bit offended sometimes when we use like Latin-based songs and kind of just like not respected it in some type of way. And especially when I saw it with a lot of the circuit stuff, like, can we call out names here? Like, is there someone that always like, can we call out some people? No, all right, moving on. Someone specific on the team a few years ago, like, try to like do a, I don't know what it was.
Let's not
name names or not specific
examples.
Well, a lot of times I'd see in the circuit and different multiple teams.
Yeah.
A lot of people use like salsa, bachata,
right?
But also I can tell they didn't really respect the source material, which I think is a big problem in like in general in dance and anywhere. Like they don't respect the source material, like especially like people who like just associate all of hip hop or everything like popping, locking, breaking, house, like they all associate it just as hip hop. Meanwhile, they're all separate cultures. They all have a distinct history about where they've come from, what they've evolved into, and how they like differentiate themselves. Like granted, again, this is a lot of problems like a lot of circuits. Cause I'm not gonna leave out the Latin.
Can I add something actually?
Go ahead.
That goes exactly along with that. Like, you know how you were saying how in hip hop there's so many different types of like breaking and all that stuff, like that different cultures, saying, all different types of cultures and stuff. But everyone clumps it up as hip hop. There's also like on this, I guess the South Asian side of it, Bhangra. I know there's like a Pakistani version of Bhangra, but everyone clumps Bhangra into Punjabi Indian Bhangra, and a lot of people get upset about that. And it's also used a lot in the circuit, but people don't know the difference. Yeah. I didn't know until some of my friends told me about it.
And that's the thing too. Like even with like salsa, there's like multiple varieties of salsa. Like we have like New York style salsa, Puerto Rican, Miami salsa, which is the one I do mainly, which is like on the one, like you dance on like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. But then like I'm pretty sure, again, someone can check me on this. I'm trying to remember as hard as I can. I think New York style salsa, like they start on the 2. They don't start on the 1, they start on the 2, and that's how they dance with their step. Like was it 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and that's how they dance it. And like there's Cuban's casino style, which is like more of like a walking type of salsa. Don't call it Cuban salsa. I've been yelled at that before, so just call it casino. But it's a lot more walking, a lot more controlled, and not like big movements, but more like comfortability with your partner. And like it's just like they said, like there's so many different styles, but people always like mesh into one thing, which I think is like it's not okay. But at the same time, like I can't expect too much people who aren't like in the culture itself.
But if you're gonna use it,
then learn about it. Yes,
I think that's the main thing. Like if you're gonna use it, learn.
We've had conversations about this. Like
there's
casually before, right?
Both like casually and in the circuit. It's been the whole issue of like appropriating dance and actually appreciating dance has been a hot topic in the last few years. And that's like the problem with it's both the high and a low of the fusion circuit. Fusion specifically because fusion, in the sense, meant that we're doing a bunch of different styles. And there's only so much specificity we can go into each style, especially in the terms of the college world, because we only have so much time to dance. We're all full-time students, or even like master's degree students, pre-med students, whatever, and no one can do all this full time and we also don't know as much. We're all learning about the dance styles itself, so learning as much.
Question for the sorry,
yeah,
continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good. Say your question.
It's a question. Is the onus on the teams to, if they can't put full due diligence into a style, don't do that style, or what is the middle ground there?
I think
what is like the?
It's hard.
So why are you sounding like that seminar, that survey we took before, like for legends? Like
all the training.
I need you guys to write down your response.
you pay
Google form.
Go.
No, I think there's a level to it. I think at the college level, we're all supposed to be learning about this. It's okay to mess up and not do your diligence, but it's good. You should be aiming to learn about each style. If you mess up, someone should correct you, at least in a polite way, in a teaching way,
constructive way,
constructive way. Yeah, and you put your effort into learning that. But I think there's a lot of people who don't want to learn. They say, okay, this is my style. I'm just doing it for fun. Who cares? And then there's
we
people
just
who
need a salsa piece.
Yeah, and there's people who like, no, you're doing it wrong. This is crap. Do it like this, and like they don't want to learn from that style. They don't want to. It's on both ends. But like, and then we try to be professional as well because there's money on the line in these competitions. The winning team gets like 1,000, 2,000, whatever. So when there's money on the line, there should be more professionalism. There should be more effort into doing all of these things.
Capitalism.
To be honest, I think if we're talking about like full responsibility, I feel like the captains of that team, if there's one or multiple, like they should kind of like have the highest responsibility. In terms of, especially
they should at least tell their members to do something.
Especially
because it'd be kind of nice. Like I was never a captain or a board member, but if my captains or board members told me, "Hey, do research on this specific thing so we can, do its due diligence," I would do it.
Or at least if like you're the choreographer for a piece, like you need to know.
Well, a lot
history.
of the times you were on board though if you're a choreographer.
If you're a choreographer, but then I think nowadays,
or like work with somebody else. Like if
the choreographer should at least be the one with the most knowledge.
If you're teaching a piece in a specific style, 100%, you
need to know.
Yeah.
You need to at least like
the or do it with like two people could do it together.
That's not the case all the time.
That's the thing. Like when at college level, you won't always find that. It's just kids sometimes having fun.
It's literally just like literal kids.
Yeah.
Who just joined college and are like, hey, this looks fun.
So then at the next level, when we're in adults like we are and we're on dance teams, professional dance teams, we perform for money or for whatever, I think you have a bigger burden on us to actually know what we're doing, what we're saying. So we should be experts in our field. That's what people are paying us for. That's what people are watching us. And there's a lot of people who are like, especially with when it was all the Black Lives Matter protests, there's a lot of effort on what is hip hop. Do we just dance and appropriate Black culture or not? And whether we should actually learn about this culture that we're always dancing to. And there are a lot of experts that came out of the field and said, okay, this is what hip hop is, this is what Black culture is. And there are a lot of people who look like they didn't know what they were talking about, what hip hop dance was. They were just dancing, and they're like famous choreographers, but they didn't actually know shit.
They probably didn't know.
Yeah, they probably didn't know. They were just doing whatever was trending or just doing whatever.
And oh wow, this is a whole different like area we can get into maybe later. We'll talk about like TikTok trends and all that.
It's about to get a little
TikTok trends.
Anyway,
you don't want to know my opinions about TikTok.
Yeah, but he does reels. It's the same thing.
Actually, wait. We're already in question number 3 talking about the circuit. Anyway, we might as well just keep going at this point.